Welcome back to Slurpathon 12, raising money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals via Extra Life. And we're up next with Zelllooo with Overload. Take it away, Zelllooo.
Thank you, Max. Hi, everyone. I'm Zelllooo or Zelllooo, however you want to say it. Never matters. This is Overload, a great 6 Degrees of Freedom first-person shooter made by Revival Productions back in 2019. And when you play this game, you might notice it looks a lot like Descent from back in the day. Well, that's because this game was actually made by a lot of Descent's original developers and is a nice spiritual sequel. It's a really, really cool game that unfortunately didn't sell well, so they kind of closed up shop after the 2 DLCs. But it's a really, really cool run that we'll get to explore for a bit, and as long as you're not flight sick. I do have one very important commentator, if you'd like to introduce yourself real quick.
I'm Spoody here. I have done runs of this game. You may have seen it on, I think that was HDQ 2018, I suppose. And I am the record holder for this. That said, I had to rewatch the run right before this to familiarize myself with how it goes, because it's been so long. But happy to be here.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started right now. So I do want to, like I said, this game is very, very motion heavy because it is a 6 Degrees of Freedom shooter. If you're not sure what that is, that means you have complete movement and rotation in the X, Y, and Z axis, which means this game is very motion intensive. So if that does not sound like your cup of tea, you get sick easily, just you've been warned.
Yeah, a lot of motion sickness. There's also a lot of flashing from the boost, like from the smash boosting. So like, yeah, very light sensitive game here. You know, take a break from the stream if you need to. We won't blame you.
Yep. So we're just going to be doing the normal campaign, the Kronos Frontier. Going to be playing Trainee difficulty. It is the easiest difficulty, but by no means is this an easy run. But we will get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
Yeah, just going to be mashing through this intro cutscene, and as we're loading up the mirror, I'll just explain what we're doing here. So we're starting off with just pretty basic weapons, just the twin impulse lasers and the dumbfire falcon missiles. Picked up the upgrade point right there. That's going to be something we're kind of focused on collecting in these first few levels, is these upgrade points. You accumulate upgrade points. Most of them are hidden away in secret areas. And between levels you can use them to upgrade your weapons, your ship systems. We won't care too much about most weapons upgrades. And for the early game, we'll be mostly focusing on upgrading the ship systems to help us move a little faster. This first mission is a little bit different from what you're going to see for most of the game. This is just a search and destroy mission where you have to just go into this small mining facility, destroy all of the rogue infected bots, and then leave. Every other level after this is going to be a little bit more like the typical Descent experience, if you're familiar with that, where there's going to be a power reactor we have to overload, and then escape from before the facility melts down. Going a little bit in the side trip there to pick up a new primary weapon, which we'll be using for the pretty much the entire first half of the run. So we'll be using the Cyclone here. It's kind of more of a machine gun energy primary. With a little bit of time, it spins up and starts shooting a little more rapidly. It's just a lot better damage output than the impulse lasers, and not too much of a time loss to get to. So absolutely worth grabbing here. Right there we saw the smash attack. When you're using a boost, you can kind of point it at a bot and you'll do a smash attack towards it. During smash attacks, you move quite a bit faster than normal boost, so sometimes you can get some extra speed off of that. If you can lock on for a smash, but like not actually hit something, and because when you hit the enemy, you come to a dead stop for a bit. But yeah, so we're gonna grab an upgrade here. We grab the flight speed upgrade. It's straightforward. It makes us go faster there. So starting off the second level there by shooting a little down. You can't really see it from there, but there is a switch just
nice
beyond that lip. Yeah, and that's the problem with the smash attacks. Like, you want to try and do these smash boosts as much as possible, but the game will kind of automatically lock onto an enemy and redirect you towards it if you're pointed too close to it. So it's really tough to be getting these boosts as frequently as possible without accidentally locking onto enemies. So there's a lot of like just timing your smashes there to try and avoid lock-ons and wasting time by like going off course. So yeah, getting some new secondaries as well. We've picked up some missile pods, which are just like a rapid fire missile weapon. Oh, nice smash boost on that. The secondary
I overheated,
shot there
though.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that gauge in the bottom center you see right there is the boost gauge. It goes away here because we pick up an overdrive power up. Overdrive gives you essentially infinite energy and boost power and a dramatically increased firing rate for its duration. So we're going to be using that to just whip through the rest of this level and get straight to the reactor. So yeah, this is going to be the standard procedure for the rest of this game until the very end.
Ran out again. Dang it. The boost management has not been great. So because even if you're in overdrive, you can't boost if you've already overheated before it. That's okay.
Yeah. If you're overheated as you pick up overdrive, you still gotta wait out the cooldown period. So yeah, unfortunately, that second overdrive that opens up towards the end of the level there, not really gonna get any value. So we pick up the boost speed upgrade, again, self-explanatory. Just grabbing movement speed upgrades as we go through. We don't really need any damage increases yet, and since this is trainee difficulty, all of the enemy bots have reduced health, so we don't really need damage increase. Like, the only thing we really care too much about damage output for is for bosses and reactors, but again, since it's trainee difficulty and they have reduced health, they die so quickly anyway that, like, any investments we could make into them just wouldn't be worth it, since, as you've probably noticed by now, the general strategy is just to avoid enemies as much as possible. And it works well enough on Trainee because of the reduced enemy damage output. If you do runs on higher difficulties like Ace or Insane, it's another story. But even on Trainee... go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, it's kind of crazy. The first level is like, very kind of easing you into the 6 degrees of freedom stuff, and then it goes right into like descent.
Yeah, and I think it's a nice design decision, like, while the player's still getting used to the movement, just, don't have the first level not have the timed escape sequence, because, yeah, every level's gonna have that pretty much, where you're, once you blow the reactor, you got the Super Metroid escape sequence, where you gotta get out before the reactor blows.
Yep.
And, if you're still just wrapping your head around the basic movement, it can be really tricky. So yeah, I think we picked up another boost upgrade before this level.
Where the hell am I?
Oh yeah,
I got turned
this level
around.
can be really tricky. Yeah, this level, any level that's really heavy on these cave segments, there's not a lot of distinct landmarks, so it's a bunch of nondescript gray rock. It's really easy to get turned around and end up in the complete wrong direction here. So yeah, that's a pretty common issue especially when you're first learning this run. Just getting yourself lost here on Phoebe, what is this, Phoebe Refinery, I believe? Yeah, just because, so many of these caves look so similar. But, yeah, grabbed the key card, so now we can reach this area for the third key card and head to the boss. This level actually can be a little bit tricky on the exit. As you look down to 60 health, and all those enemies you just aggroed tend to gather around this door you just went through and get in your way on the way out. And it can be a little spooky. I've had runs die there before. So yeah, just kind of slowly strafing around this reactor to try and misdirect the reactor fire, like enemy fire. Picking up the separate point on the way. Let's see how big the swarm is here. Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I got out of it.
That was my fault.
Yeah, aside from getting turned around, that wasn't bad. The movement in this game is very difficult because you can gain speed in all 3 axes at the same time, plus with the boost. But that also makes things very difficult to like look around and control.
Oh, that's funny.
Alright.
So we're on BB Complex. Yep, this is our first boss and kind of like the end. Like I'd say the game's kind of separated into 3 chapters. So yeah, we've got like the first set of moons here. This one is just kind of a big sprawling layout where there's 3 keys you can collect in any order. Also introduces the golem type enemy, which is like a suicide bomber type enemy that you gotta be mindful of, because if you run into them, they deal pretty good damage. And this is our first lockdown room in the run. So lockdowns are essentially small rooms that, once you enter, they lock down, and enemies spawn in a random order, and you just gotta take them all out.
It was the worst luck because I had both the Gorgons at the very end.
Oh,
Yeah, the order is random. The spawn points are set, but the order of them is random, and so you want the ones that are close to the exit that you want to leave out from to spawn last. To be most efficient, but unfortunately Zelllooo got unlucky, and the ones that were that spawned last were the first way. Not really like a huge deal. Like, you can see how fast this game moves. It's like a second lost at most, but it's still a little inconvenience. We're also seeing our first couple super upgrade point pickups. The pink orbs. So, you can see in the bottom left the green up arrow indicates upgrade points. The pink is supers. You need the super upgrade points to upgrade the second level of any upgrade you want to do between between levels, and you will need some of those soon enough. But we're coming on the first boss. Thankfully, there's an invulnerability power up right there before you go in. So if you just go really fast in while the invulnerability is active, you can grab this overdrive too to maximize your fire rate. You can just get in its face. It's got 2 phases. Now there's the Goliath core.
I lost it. It ended up getting off
yeah,
the wall. That's fine.
But,
It's not a big time loss.
Yeah, looks like it's dead. So yeah, there is a secret super upgrade point here that shows up, and the boss will also drop one. So we grab one here. Oh, I think you missed the Devastator pickup back there. That's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
And
secondaries
that's
aren't that
good.
big a deal because you do get refilled a certain amount between every level, so it's not a big deal to lose out on a Devastator.
Yeah, generally the plan for most secondary use is going to be to just unload everything you've got on the reactor, and otherwise you're not going to use them super often. Like, you'll use them in lockdowns if you need to. Sometimes you might throw like a hunter or something out just to like deal with a pesky enemy, but like yeah, another super upgrade point there. We grabbed 2 upgrades on the last shop there. I believe it was flight speed plus, straightforward. We move faster, good for speed running. And also item duration, which doubles the length of any temporary power-ups, like the overdrive that we're about to see right here. So yeah, this overdrive right here in particular, it's going to be pretty disorienting, so, hold on to your butts here. Because, yeah, now that we have the double length here, we're going to be whipping around, mashing those boosts out, like, just non-stop for a full, I believe, 30 seconds now. I'm trying to remember, I think this level might even chain into another overdrive at the end of the level, too. Like, it's just full speed here. And, like, you can go even a little bit faster with some fun movement tech than just pointing your ship in one direction and holding for missed the key there. Yeah, this game actually it's funny though. They optionally allow you to have the old school like first person shooter movement tech of strafe running, or in the case of Descent and 6 Degrees of Freedom games, what they like to call tricording, where you, instead of just pointing forward and holding W, you kind of point at a diagonal and move forward and left and down at the same time, and you go a little faster for that. You can actually change the settings to tweak the movement mechanics a little bit. Ooh, that was close.
We're good.
Yeah, that was a little close. Yeah, you don't want to take a death here. There's no like in-game checkpoints, so if you haven't dropped any quick saves or saves and die, that's the whole level you gotta do again.
I usually end up playing that one pretty risky anyway, so that's fine.
Hey, it paid off. You got through. I think real quick here, just going to remind folks that this is all for the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals via Extra Life, raising money for children's hospitals. What's not to love about that? And the donations all go to those hospitals, and as unrestricted funds, meaning they can use them for whatever they need. We do have some cool incentives up right now, including a Metro Fusion bid war between the classic save the animals or save the frames. And save the animals are in the lead. But we'd like to go fast, so let's get some donos in for saving the frames. And with that said, I'm gonna cross it back to Spoody and Zelllooo.
Thank you so much for, it's always important to know, just remember what we're all here for, and that's just, helping make the world a little bit of a better place for, the children's hospitals especially. Unlike the antagonist we're hearing on the voice comm right now, Gabriel Cantor. So yeah, just a little bit about the storyline. It's pretty much the general premise is pretty similar to the classic Descent games. There's a whole bunch of mining operations. All the mining robots suddenly go berserk and start functioning and killing the workers, and you have to just go in and purge the mines. And you kind of get little bits of story as you're going through, just piecing together what exactly is happening. And yeah, basically everything points to that the CEO of the mining corporation, Gabriel Cantor, has orchestrated this whole malfunction of the security bots, but it's still, as of right now, unclear as to why.
Where's the last shredder?
Where is?
There it is.
There it is. Yeah, that's one of the most annoying lockdowns. These cave walls give so many places they can hide behind, and those shredders, those saw blade enemies, unlike those bigger what are they called? Gorgon or no Goliaths?
Super Gorgons in that one, I think.
Yeah. They, those guys are pretty slow and chunky and don't really move around too much. The shredders are pretty small and move around to try and get good angles on you, so it can be real annoying. Grab the super upgrade on the way out.
Also, how do I have so much armor?
Yeah, this level is usually really dicey on health, and you have 133, which is actually a plus, because if you have an in excess of 100, you get to keep that going to the next level. If you're below it, you get recharged to 100 at the start of the new level. But yeah, that was really smooth. So many problems that can pop up in that level, and it just went perfectly fine. Okay, and yeah, there's something else besides shield and energy that you get after finishing a level is if there was a readily available new primary or secondary that you failed to collect, it just gets given to you before the start of the next level. So we get given the Crusher. Crusher, unlike the energy-based Cyclone and briefly Impulse that we were using at the start of the level, at the start of the run, is ammunition-based. So it's that gauge of pips right above where it says overdrive right now. Which means thankfully we can save the energy for using boosts, because boost does draw from the same resource pool as the weapon energy, and that makes things a little bit easier here. Grab the invulnerability here. This room is so nasty without the invulnerability. There's so many enemies spewing things all over the place, but the invul makes the rest of this level really straightforward. But yeah, the Crusher, with all the super upgrade points we've accumulated, are able to immediately upgrade it to its max form. It just does absolutely ridiculous amounts of damage, and it's essentially like a hit scan type weapon, essentially. So you don't have to worry about enemies dodging your fire. It's just the best weapon in the game. That said, it's not going to be the only weapon that we see used for the rest of the game. There are a couple others that'll get some use, but not for a while yet.
The end of
we are pretty much
always scary here, so hopefully we're not gonna have a bad time at the end.
Yeah, this level can get a little bit dicey sometimes, but yeah, very well navigated on that last one though. Like we mentioned back in Phoebe Refinery, that level has a lot of just nondescript gray cave walls. That can be really easy to get disoriented in, but Zelllooo navigating it pretty well. And so yeah, we will be picking up another weapon here. Right here, can't miss it. The Thunderbolt. It's a charge and shoot weapon, kind of reminiscent of the fusion cannon from classic Descent games. We won't be using it for offense, but it will get some use later on. it's kind of, you know, it's actually part of the storyline. Is like, oh, here on this facility they were developing some sort of you know, some sort of new weapon that is based on some tech that no one's ever seen before. You know, who knows where Cantor got the idea for this tech from? It's a mystery. Yeah, another cave section here. Got to stay oriented here. And yeah, this reactor is unfortunately guarded by a force field, so you got to loop around back here. But thankfully, there's an overdrive right here by the exit, which makes blasting out these shield generators and boosting back to the reactor a very quick process. Another nice thing about the about overdrive is that it makes all weapons fully automatic, even if they aren't normally. You just really
yeah, I got so much
chunk
shield.
of
So whenever you hit something with a smash attack, you do gain a little bit of armor. So I was actually able to farm armor while I was waiting for the door to open, anyways, and take some extra into Harbor, which is really nice because Harbor is very easy to die in.
Yeah, Harbor, I think, is probably the level I have died the most in. Just because the run out from the final key area is so scary, because you got to get funneled through a narrow choke, and there's these golems here trying to self-destruct on you. And, you know, as you could probably guess, the kamikaze bots do a lot of damage if they manage to hit you. Just a little bit too early, yeah. Whenever you destroy like a force field generator, there's a slight delay before the force field actually goes down. Zelllooo trying to time the boost such that he goes through right as it goes down, but unfortunately a little too early there.
Actually gonna throw some Novas here. Novas are really good. They fire out homing plasma blobs when they explode. It clears out a lot of the crap that gets in the way. It just makes things a lot easier and a lot safer.
Yeah, and the Devastator there at the end can just one-shot the shield generator. Yeah, Devastator's very powerful secondary, but you have to be very careful. It has a huge, extremely powerful blast radius, and it's very easy to accidentally blow yourself up there. So yeah, this room right here is kind of the big problem part of this level. So I'm hitting those switches to open up these shield generators. Also grab the overdrive here for this rush. But yeah, this choke point right here that we just went through can be a big problem on the way back out. If we can get through that without dying, we're probably home free.
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay, yeah, that's good, that's good. Because yeah, you can just end up with so many enemies piled up there. But yeah, second boss right here. Yeah, with the overdrive and training difficulty, you can kind of just rush in, hold the buttons together, pick up this other overdrive for infinite boost once the exit door opens. And yeah, that's the end of Chapter 2. We're done with all of the Titan mines, and we're ready to enter the last stretch of the game, where we finally get to, you know, get the big reveal as to what Cantor was up to when he sent all of these robots rogue. One final upgrade purchase there, energy efficiency. It's not really super necessary, but it will help in a few levels. Yeah, you might be wondering, like, okay, I said we're going to be mainly just using the Crusher here, which doesn't use energy. Why are we needing energy? Well, the Thunderbolt's going to be relevant in a couple levels, and, you know, there's no way around it. You will need it. So this is, I believe, the longest level in the game, I want to say.
Something like that.
This is Tethys Lab. It starts with this kind of like mostly like big flat area up at the top where you have to collect these 3 keys, much like we saw back at I'm forgetting the name of the level, but Phoebe Station. You can collect the keys in any order, but yeah, they're kind of spread out quite a bit. A lot of enemies you gotta dash through. And yeah, the Valkyries that were introduced in the last level, they shoot pretty fast, and there's a lot of them starting this level. So that's all 3 keys, and now we have the long descent downwards. So yeah, this is a very, very tall level. You know, you might expect to be near the end of the level once you have all 3 keys. No, the level's just starting. So we've got another lockdown here. This introduces Reavers. Reavers have a driller weapon, which is essentially a hit scan, which means it's really hard to avoid damage from them. And then they also explode on death and will try to ram you once they get to low health. So they are probably the most dangerous enemy type. You got to be really careful about them. Yeah, thankfully this this vantage point from here lets you see all of the spawn points pretty well. for this. Gonna grab the invulnerability on the way out, because yeah, we're just gonna be looking to rush past like pretty much every enemy all the way down to the reactor here, and that invulnerability is gonna let us do that. Yeah, you can, Zilla right there, just bumping the Reaver. Since the Reavers are a bot with a kamikaze attack, you can just touch them at any point and they'll just explode.
What
Which,
is
while
that
you're invulnerable,
smash?
yeah, wow, that smash attack locking onto that did not feel like you were looking at that, but sure. But yeah, while you're invulnerable, you can safely just nudge the Reavers to take them out, because they'll just trigger their self-destruct. Another secondary type that we'll see, that you may have noticed, like this hockey puck-shaped one that we just passed a while ago, is called the Time Bomb. Hopefully Zelllooo never accidentally uses one, because you really do not want to use it. Time Bomb kind of does what it says on the tin and doesn't do what it says on the tin. When you shoot it, after a short delay, it will give you a slow motion effect for several seconds. Very bad for us, but sometimes it's easy to accidentally throw one out if you're just mashing all your secondaries into a boss or a reactor. So something that you gotta be looking out for is to make sure you're not actually throwing out those time bombs.
Oop, accidentally mashed a little too hard there. There we go.
And so we're on to Enceladus, where Gabriel Cantor was last seen and is believed to be currently. So, you know, we're going to go confront him about everything. And you may have noticed that the exit door for this level was right at the start, which might seem scary, but we don't actually need to go there. Some story things are going to happen, and we don't even need to use that exit. Fun fact. So when the end of level self-destruct sequence activates, all doors unlock and open for the entire level, including secret ones. If you actually go all the way back up to the start of the level and go to that exit door, there's nothing there. There's just a one-tile empty room and no exit shaft.
As you said in the past, that exit is not up to code.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, it's really not intended that you go all the way back down there. The trigger for the end of the level is meant to be too far away for you to consider doing it, but trainee difficulty also, I believe, extends the amount of time you have left, you have available on this game, so you actually have time to do it. One final lockdown room here. Well, actually, not. There's one on the mirrors on the last level, but this is the final one that really matters, where you have to be paying attention. We have these cloaked scorpions here. Thankfully, if you turn on the reduced shader effect, they're a lot easier to see. They have this kind of purple outline to them. Yeah, on default settings, these cloaked scorpions can be really hard to spot. It helps to spot them as they spawn in, because they still have the big dramatic purple poofy particles that whenever they pop in, which is really easy to see. Yeah, that lockdown can be tricky, though. There's a lot of pillars and stuff that can break your line of sight to some of the swamp points. So we grab this overdrive, and this overdrive should last for the rest of the level here. We have one pretty nasty encounter here, but we're just going to rush through it with the overdrive, and it shouldn't cause too much problems. So we've got to take out all these shield generators to access the final area of the level, the crashed alien ship, which, Cantor had unearthed and was tinkering around with the alien technology, and it's causing a station overload, so the whole place is going to blow. We got to enter an alien portal that Cantor just went through in the back of the ship. Thankfully, this is not... It can be disorienting to find, but when you know where you're going, it's not too bad. And now things ramp up in difficulty quite a bit, especially like in a casual setting. Because now we're on the alien levels, the alien homeworld levels, and this just wastes no time. It immediately throws new enemies with new weapons you've never seen that do tons of damage, and there's all these powered switches that are, only compatible with the alien's energy signatures, so you have to use the Thunderbolt, which was derived from the alien technology, to activate them. And that's why we grabbed the energy efficiency upgrade earlier. It's just going to make it much easier to make sure we don't run out of energy while we're shooting all these switches. Otherwise, you got to slow down and go find an energy recharge station, and it's not a good time. You waste so much time if you have to do that. But yeah, even on trainee difficulty, you'll see that things are doing a lot of damage here. But we're already at the end of this first level. This final room contains a bunch of these big switches. You have to shoot 5 times. There's 4 of them, I believe. Enemies spawn in on everyone that you activate, so Zeal's got to keep strafing around to make sure that he doesn't take too many hits. Ooh, it's getting a little spicy, but there we go. Makes it.
That's the scary one to get through. Thank goodness.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so like I said, every time you light one of those up, more enemies spawn in. Yeah, these like modified Valkyries with the Lancers are super hard to dodge, and they do a lot of damage too. So it can be really tricky.
I didn't hit that. I listen for a sound cue for if I hit some of these switches because they're a little hard to target.
Yeah, the hitboxes can be a little wonky on these. So yeah, as we move. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go on. No, please,
yeah.
please.
Yeah, just saying, as we go on to the second alien level, we get to hear Cantor losing his mind as he kind of merges with the alien hive mind. Grabbing the overdrive here, which should last for most of the rest of the level. Grab the Lancer here, which is a much more efficient, firing rate-wise, energy weapon to use for the rest of the switches. Anyway, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there's a common thing you hear people say with speed games a lot of the time. It's like, oh, they make it look easy. I feel like as someone who's played a little bit of Descent and has watched a decent amount of like speed running for Descent, it never looks easy. It always looks incredibly impressive.
Now, 6-stop games are like an entirely different beast, compared to just standard first-person shooters, and they're a very underrepresented, game style. I kind of feel in the market.
Yeah.
So yeah, just have to activate those 4 cores. Got a little low there, but not too bad. And we're on to the final boss here, actually. Notably, final boss, but not final level. There is one short kind of epilogue level after this one.
This is also the laggiest level in the entire game. So what you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing. Do not worry, stream is not exploding.
Yeah, this level can be a little much. Yeah, it's essentially one big sphere all revolving around one big arena, and there's, I think, like 8 cores you have to activate, something like that. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff to worry about. And you're seeing Zelllooo running a little low on energy here, down to 20 energy here, but almost done here. Yeah, actually, like there is an optional invulnerability you can grab about halfway point, but Zelllooo not going for it. And yeah, final boss here. Again, trainee difficulty.
Where did all my creepers go? They all circled around it.
Yeah, but the creeper's not really locking on there. But yeah, trainee difficulty, same story as always. Just get in its face, hold your fire buttons, blow it out. Exit level, and now we have the final level, which is. Story ends where it began. We go back to Ymir, where the alien port, the first level of the game, where the alien portal has opened and they're starting the invasion of the solar system. So, goal is to destroy the alien sovereign and end the invasion, close the portal for good. If you've been rescuing hostages, which I don't know if you've noticed, but we haven't been, you get the good ending at this point, where all of the scientists you've rescued can build an improvised nuke to take the station out. But since we haven't rescued any scientists, all we have is the home base ship's AI saying, "Well, I guess I'm gonna just ram the station and hope it's good enough." And so yeah, it's since the destroying the reactor didn't destroy the sovereign, they're just gonna ram the ship. All we have to do is escape before the
time
ship
is up,
rams.
coming up right here, right when I leave the facility, and time.
And time.
Oh, I'm supposed to hold the timer, but that's pretty
GG.
good. Yeah, this is very much a save the frames, not save the animals run. So sorry for those of you, but those of you who like barbecue, hey, you get a lot of cooking right there, and we certainly cooked at that run. Because in-game time, we go by in-game time. That's a sub 31, and for marathon, which for me, that's only like 30 seconds off my PB. I'm very happy with that run.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah, that's just a little bit off your PB and not too far off the record. I think the record's like a 29 or something.
No, you had like a 27, like 44 or something.
Oh,
It was
jeez.
low.
Like I
But
said, it's been so long.
this game goes by fast, and I will say, it really does help to just practice a lot because I hadn't touched this game since the beginning of 2019. And I have cut my time down by like 3.5 minutes since then. It really does help to just have like a comfortable setup to just practice on. So, and that really applies to just about anything you can do. So, I really do love Overload. It's worth checking out if you like these kinds of games. Even as a casual play, this is like one of my most fun FPSs to revisit, and I'm happy to have showcased this all for you. And so, big thanks to Slurpathon for having me for this, and thank you, Spooty, for the commentary, because this is not the kind of game that you want to go in without commentary unless you're very experienced, and I'm not good at multitasking, that kind of thing, so I'm glad I had a co-pilot.
Fair
Happy
enough.
to help.
But,
Yeah, thanks for showcasing it as always.
yeah, thank you. I will be back on Sunday with Pump It Up as the second to last showcase of the marathon, so you should be ready for that. But Omax, I will hand it back off to y'all, and we can keep this marathon rolling.
Hey, sounds good. Look forward to. Don't miss that Pump It Up showcase. It is always awesome. But up next, we've got, I believe, Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer. Let me just double check the schedule real quick here. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer with Hanklet69. So we'll be right back. We're just going to switch over to that and stay tuned.